here we are today. Brian Berner with us from Texas Instruments. Tell us what we got today in terms of our new processor families and what Phytec has been working with TI recently.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is the Phytec EV charging station, and this is a development platform around the hardware and software solution from Phytec, TI, and Pionix, right? So in the box, obviously you see here, but we'll talk a little bit more about this. So this is the LCD display, 10.1 inch, and the software running on it is the EVerest platform from Pionix. So that is the UI for setting up an EV charging station, but also for deploying an EV charging station. And then underneath the hood of that is the software stacks that are critical to actually have that charging session.
Yeah, you mentioned Pionix and providing an API for interfacing this TIDA-board. What really is the intended use of the TIDA-board?
Yeah, so the TIDA-board itself and the development platform around that is for AC level 2 charging that is CCS compliant.
Level 2 is like 20 kilowatts, something like that?
I am not going to tell you because I don't know exactly. But yeah, it is below DC charging, so when you get to DC charging,
that's way higher. Yeah.
Way higher, you're talking 50 to 300 kilowatts. So if you want to charge your car 20 minutes, DC charging. But when you want to deploy the all day or all night type of charging, right? You go to a restaurant, charge your car. You don't necessarily care that it charges immediately because you're going to be at the restaurant anyway. So there's two primary reasons why you want to have the AC level 2 charging with this software. And that is the high level charging or the ISO 15118 spec. And so that is for two things, right? The plug and charge, which is basically your payment is your car is your payment, right? So it's communicating over that interface.
I believe that's facilitated with power line communication here with the red beat module, Codico.
The power line communication is a 12 volt, basically a one wire type of standard, but it is very noise immune. So you have to send those packets back and forth to plug and charge, but also vehicle to grid, right? So everyone's familiar with the fear, from Texas at least, the fear of having a blackout, not just a rolling blackout, but a true blackout. So when you're in these crisis modes, one car or two cars doesn't really do anything for the grid. But when you have all of these cars charging in those peak times, like 5 p.m. when it's 35 degrees Celsius, when the grid is not stable, those cars can send power back. And you can't do that without this ISO 15118, the high level charging. So yeah, the innovation here is the hardware, the software, there's a lot of pieces, but the beautiful thing about the AM62 module and the communications engine is that it could be deployed directly into any EV charging station, regardless of whether it's AC, DC.
This really just serves as the high-level controller.
Yeah, and so this is the Phytec development kit.
Right.
So this is on our website on TI.com today. And so then connect that to this custom expansion board using the home plug green phi. That will interface to the TIDA-board. And so that's where all your communications go. So think of this as kind of the analog and real-time safety. High power, but also acting very quickly. So if I enter a charging session, you'll hear those relays snap in place, so I can't pull this back out while the line is hot. So that's done on this board here. But then you also have a real-time state machine, which is leveraged in the MCU in here. And so that allows you to deterministically say this is the signal that I'm receiving, and then that lets you enter the communication. So you kind of have to have that balance of the digital or EP side and the analog and real time. This is now on TI.com as the AM62 EVSE development platform.
Okay, so this
In
is a
its current
development
state.
platform.
This is this is a development kit.
Yep.
This is a development platform.
We actually get asked all the time here at Phytec, can we buy the EV charger and
It's a
deploy it?
development platform.
It's for developing your charging algorithms, right? Not to really commercially charge your vehicles. Yeah.
Yes, so the software itself, I learned this the hard way. There's a way that you can get into this, so the simulation. So that's for essentially testing the communication, not to a car, but back and forth between a laptop and this station. So you can enter that simulation, go ahead and plug it in. So it's actually waiting for the car to respond. So you can walk through that entire simulation. But you can also do some other things like set up the Wi-Fi network, right? So if this was a mesh network of charging stations, you would want that main gateway to be connected to the cloud, right, through the network. So that can be done with Ethernet, right, a wired connection, or it can be done with the Wi-Fi setup. And then there is a way to deploy this system. And that's one of the things that Pionix offers, is that they could deploy it with the software, but the demo shown here, the development platform shown here, is a way for you to customize. And so what Phytec does with this development kit is you can design a custom carrier board that meets your needs.
Yeah.